As you have heard, my name is Michel Bellon. I was born in Paris, not Texas, but France, some 81 years ago. And I came here tonight to bore you to no end with what the Masons did during the World War II against the Germans in France. I had to write that because I had to do quite a bit of research and I had to call France to get some information because I couldn't remember everything. So I'm going to have to read, if you bear with me, be ready to take a pillow and go to sleep. Upon the German occupation, France was divided into two zones, the occupied zone and the free zone. The occupied zone went from Dijon, France, all the way up to Germany, and the rest went to Italy. Although the free zone had quite a bit of German involved, and they had what Pétancourt, a milice. It was like a Gestapo by the French people. So when you were on the free zone, like the occupied zone, you have to be very careful what you say, to whom you say it, because you can end up in jail or in Germany. In the free zone, the German had troops, and Pétain government with the milice. The French government on October the 13th, prescribed a edict stopping Freemasonry. This led to a dismissal of all officers, teachers, policemen, or anybody working in the French government. All this created a lot of resentment, mostly among the former officers of the army. So they created, many of them were Masons, and all the Masons were very unhappy, so they created immediately on the lodge a underground movement. They divided all the lodge into 3 people per group in the lodge, so if somebody would be arrested by the German, the whole organization would suffer. So this really made them very unhappy because they lost the liberty of speech and they couldn't do anymore. And they created an active and passive resistance. This was a implicit trust of fellow Masons, and this lodge were organized, I believe, suited for the clandestine activity. Furthermore, many Freemasons who had served in the armed forces and had returned to civilian life, these Indians were the French authorities decide to redeem the reputation of France. So they specialize in gathering intelligence and also to help all the down pilots, the Jews, the people who were choosing to go to work for Germany. They also were involved in collecting information, in touch with London, and also they had people who would come by special plane to receive them and to receive all the drop down to them. I won't give you all the name of the group they formed because we'll be here for a week. They created 211 lodges for the underground. 211 of them were involved all through France. I mean, the occupied part of France. In 1941, on June 17th, Eugene Kirchmeier and Mr. Barnett founded the Grand Conseil Provisoire de la Maçonnerie Française, Provision Council of French Masonry. This later became the Committee of Action of Masonry. Between 1941 and 1944, this clandestine lodge contacted with CAM, C-A-M, using Mr. Kutcher flap of 123 Rue Saint-Antoine in Paris as a base, it maintained contact with London. These activities of the group of resistors were varied, information gathering, as I told you before, information taking pilots back to England and so on. Brother Lemaire, a high-ranking Freemason, was rather lucky compared to many brothers. He was denounced and brought before an elderly gentleman who kept him asking his birth date. He finally realized his birth date was his masonry date. When he gave it to them, the German dismissed him and gave him the name of the informer who told him to the German. That happened that German was a Mason himself.
No.
So these people did a fabulous work. Many of them were arrested, tortured, and sent to prison, or sent to mostly to Germany, to the concentration camp. And my father happened to be one of them. On the free part of France where I was involved, I was carrying new papers for people to go back to England, to get information on what's happening. I had a friend who was an Italian officer who couldn't stand the German, who couldn't stand Mussolini, who would give me information what the German would do for move, so we could give it to the right people. And it got to a point where my father said, your name is on the list of the Germans, they're going to come and get you, get out of here, we're going to send you above Grenoble on a school where you will be safe. So that school was on the Vercors, which was the biggest French underground you could find. But when I came to school, within 3 days, every night we were getting drops from England, from the British, and when the American came in, everything changed because the fortress happened to be there. Then we start to have every 10 days drops with the fortress. Now we start to get machine guns, mortars, clothes, ammunition. I mean, it was unreal. And one day, instead of we had planes coming, but instead of drops with equipment, 3 Americans came down. These Americans were there to teach us how to use all that new equipment and also to check with a huge field to make sure we could plan it to bring gliders and paratroopers. Somebody got in touch with the German and we knew something would happen, so we made sure we give all the ammos and all, hide them to the right place. And my job, as I spoke English, was to take care of these 3 Americans, make sure they'd be safe, and take them back to England. I had a problem. The shortest one was 6'3". So now I have to find clothes for these guys. So I took them to a place where they'd be safe for at least 10 days and there would be no problem. Then I had to go for 3 days and 3 nights. I worked non-stop to go where I knew I could try to get help. And one time when I'm almost there, I hear German talking. So it was a big field of corn. I jumped into the corn and one German had a good idea to go to relieve himself. He almost relieved himself on me. I didn't dare stand up, stay there like a frightened kid. Then when they were gone, I went where I had to go, and I had the pictures of these guys. We made false paper for them, and it took me about a week to get pants, shirts to fit their size. So when I got them, I told them from now on, you're deaf and mute, because they couldn't speak a word of French, or the little they could with their accent would give them away. So if you want something, you use sign language. It took us 5 days to go from Grenoble to the Spanish border, taking train, hiding, not moving. Then we came to the Spanish border. We had to make sure the guy who would take us to Spain would take us to the American embassy. Because when you are at the American embassy, then you would be on the plane to go to England. That's what I have to say, that's it. So if you have any question.
Well, how old were you?
When I started to go, I was about 14 years old when it started. And when I left, when the war was over, I was 21.
Then tell them what you did after you.
When I came to England, my father and I had like a godfather, a man called General. I can't say his face. I forgot. I can't remember his name. I couldn't find him. So they said, you have to go somewhere, sign up with a bad purpose. The British SAS. So they made me do 5 jumps to get the wings. Then, General Vilma. Then I'm in London for a leave. He said, what are you doing here? That stupid uniform. He said, you're going back to Marrakesh to get your license for the army. And so he grabbed me with a chauffeur, changed all my papers. And I went to Marrakesh where I got my license as a pilot. The Americans have made a special school for people like me, but 10 of us had a license for pilot already. So they made a special class for us for 3 months. And when the class was over, the CEO came and said, you are with us in the American Air Force.
So tell them about the different planes you flew.
So at first I was chosen to be on the transport because they were afraid with French, if we would go over Germany shot, it would create some problem. Then they decided we have to do 4 missions. So we did the 4 missions, but the mission we had to do was just over France and back. Then they offered me a job, they didn't offer me, they transferred me to a job in Casablanca, where we would try all the planes the US Air Force flew would need to be repaired. So we were in for 24 on, 24 off. So if when you would come in the morning, you had a boat, you had a Piper Cub, a P-51, P-47, a Fortress, and every day off, and that's what it is. That's how I finished the war.
But your 4 missions that you flew was to go drop bombs.
Drop bombs, yes.
Mm-hmm. And tell them the part about when you got out of the service.
When I got out of the service, I didn't know what to do. I tried to go back to school, and people of my age look at me and say, well, that old, when they were younger, what that old fuck is doing here? Doesn't belong here, and I get bored, so I decided I would go for Air Force. And I still went to college at the same time, and that's it. And I came here to school, met my wife, got married.
All right. Any questions? You guys got any questions? Yes.
Is your wife from France? Is your wife from France?
My wife, no.
Is she American?
My second wife, my first wife died. They're both Americans.
Oh.
One was born in Detroit, one was born in Boston.
You don't have French.
I have a son who is 53 years old who lives in Los Angeles.
When did you come to this?
1950.
1950.
I'm sorry, I don't have an accent. You all have an accent.
Whatever happened with your father and...
My father was caught in Paris because of the underground. He was on the back of a motorcycle of a friend of his, Mr. Sojourners, who was a great French pilot who lost a leg while he was flying from Brazil, I think, to Chile, opening it, and the plane had something. He crash landed into the Andes, and the doctor who found him didn't know what to do with his leg, so instead of saving the leg, they cut it. So the man still could fly like the airplane. He was a father's pilot. And the two were brought by the German, and they had not been going well. My uncle went to Auschwitz, where he died, and some cousin. So I don't like the German. I will tell you something. I don't like to bring that too much because of the young girl, but when I was working to try to save this, bring these 3 Americans with me, I went through a village I knew where the farmers and so on. I found a woman against a cross with nails and thing, raped and dead, and the kids were hanged by the feet, that from the ground had been raked so they would breathe the dirt and die with a lung full of dirt. I will tell you, when you see that, you don't like the German too much. I have a thing, you all are welcome to look at it. It's in French, it's called La Marseillaise. That's a draft for news. We all had newspapers, we print, we give on the side and there. That's a draft about the last French who were sent to German deportation. The Norwegian consulate, or the Swedish consulate, made an arrangement with the German where these people will not go to Germany, will stay in prison in France until the German leave. It was an SS there who approved. At the last minute, the SS come, that doesn't know the paper is written, and they all want to Germany. They made sure the engineer on the train was German, because they knew if the French engineer would be the train would have never got to Germany. So they explained everything on that. The paper went on the street of Paris, and this is a draft of it. If you want to look at it, you're welcome to. It's from September 1st, 1944.
Okay. When did you become an American citizen?
Yes, I was a citizen in 1 year.
When?
When? In Detroit, 1951.
Okay.
When I came here, I went to the American Embassy and I asked for the air attaché. And I told him who I was and I had my paper. He said, oh, I don't need your paper, I have them here. And he sent me a blood test, urine test, what you have to do. And I came back 3 days later, he gave me an envelope that big. And I had to go to Detroit, draft board 100. And when I give that, I figured I'd be there half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours for me to the game. What are they doing out there? Playing cards. I'm sitting here, I have other thing to do. He said, just a second. 10 minutes later, 3 of my close friends with whom I flew during the war were in Selfridge. And they knew I was coming, so they wanted to take me back for dinner and want me to join the reserve. I said, let me think about it. When I was ready to join the reserve, the Korean War broke out. I said, pass. I said, I'm a coward now.
No, you're not a coward, you're a hero.
One of them was killed in Korea. That's about it. I'm sorry I bored you to 10 cents.
No.
That's interesting.
Does anybody have any other questions?
Well, I know I speak for everybody here, Michelle. You're no coward, you're a hero to us. And that's why we want you to come and speak. And I mean it, brother, you're a hero to us.
I didn't do any more than Bill or all of you who want to service and serve the country. You did maybe more than I did, so I'm a hero.
Well, don't go anywhere.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question.
She's got some questions.
Do you, as you look around the room, do you see anyone here that you would consider a friend?
All of them.
All of them? Well, I'll tell you what, I think it's probably the other way around as well. All of you that think Michelle was a friend, how about raising your hand? Look at that. You know, how about that? Michelle, I have to tell you, every one of us have nothing but the highest regard for you. And we are so proud to have you here in our city. We're so proud to have you here in our lodge. And you have been a wonderful Tyler for a couple of years. How many years? 5 now? I was going to say 4, but 5. Okay, 5 years. That's wonderful. And we're absolutely pleased and thrilled to know you, to have you as a friend and a brother. And we thank you so very much for everything that you have done. We know that you're a true patriot. And I have a little something here that I'd like to share with you. It says that this flag, that certificate looks a lot alike, doesn't it? Huh? It says this flag of the United States of America is commending an American patriot. And unfortunately, she is not in a position to present this to you personally because she passed away. But the flag was flown by the Honorable Joanne Davis, our own Congress lady for the first, yes, who passed away. And she had a flag flown for you. And it says, especially for you, commending an American patriot. Does November 4th ring a bell with you? I'm sure it will in just a second. George Washington's Mother Lodge. Okay? It says this is to attest and proclaim that the accompanying flag of the United States of America was flown over this lodge on November 4th, 2007, and that this day in 1752 is the date that Worshipful Brother George Washington was initiated into the mysteries of Freemasonry. And it was flown honoring our brother and fellow patriot, Michel Bellon. Now there's a certificate, and it's yours, but you say, okay, what flag? How about this one? That's yours, sir.
Oh, thank you.
And we want to congratulate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being our friend. Thank you for being the wonderful Mason that you are. How about a round of applause?